Did the new Game of Thrones trailer confirm a long-running fan theory? HBO dropped an epic new trailer for Game of Thrones Season 7 yesterday, and winter is so close that we are getting frostbite, y'all. Now, the 2-minute spot is absolutely covered in cool moments, beloved characters, and all the snow that you can handle, and we do mean all the snow that you can handle. But hiding amongst it all are hints that one of the biggest GOT fan theories of all time, an event that throne heads have been demanding for years, may finally be coming to fruition. What event are we talking about? Well, slow your Westerosi roll, guys. We still got a long ice-covered road to go down before we get there, but we're here to guide you step by step. So as you remember, way back in November of last year, there was a bit of a scandal in the Seven Kingdoms when a Reddit user somehow managed to leak a whole bunch of plot points about the upcoming season. Obviously, HBO refused to confirm or deny any of his accusations, but several noted GOT fan sites cross-refed the rumors with reports from the set, and it seemed like a bunch of them checked out. And now it looks like this new trailer has further confirmed one of the coolest potential plot points mentioned in the leak, which means we are about to enter spoiler country, so if you want your ears to remain as unsullied as Grey Worm, we suggest that you turn back now. Alright, so according to the leak, one-eyed bad boy Beric Dondarrion and world's worst babysitter Sandor Clegane, aka the Hound, will be teaming up for a super-secret subterfuge mission beyond the Wall. This should add some fun, lethal weapon-esque buddy cop banter to Season 7, especially when you consider the past that these two share. The Hound has killed the constantly resurrected Dondarrion before, but the truly cool thing about this team-up is that their end goal is to take a White Walker as a prisoner and bring it back to King's Landing, hoping that, stubborn as Queen Cersei may be, once they present her with irrefutable proof of climate change, she may actually start believing in it and try to do something about it. Who would have thought that the Hound would turn out to be the Al Gore of Westeros? Anyway, as we've said, none of these plot points were confirmed or denied by HBO or the GOT crew, but a few shots in the trailer definitely suggest that it, or something very similar to it, will come to pass. We see Dondarrion with his badass flaming sword lighting up some snow-covered wasteland, and we see the Hound also taking a snow day probably somewhere north of the Wall, and then we see the Hound again basking in the sunny skies of King's Landing. So yes, while this may not be enough evidence to say the storyline will happen exactly as reported, it does suggest the basic trajectory of the characters is on point. And that's really the big story here, because if the baby Clegane bro really does find himself back in King's Landing, with or without his White Walker, that means we could finally be gearing up for the most spectacular sporting event in the history of the Seven Kingdoms. That's right, y'all. It's Clegane Bowl 2017! Should I just keep doing it? Got it? Cool. That's right, MFers. It's brother versus brother. The Hound versus the Mountain. Harvey Dent impersonator versus Cersei's zombie boy. The face-off that all Game of Thrones fans, especially me, Jessica Chobot, have been thirsting for all these years. We're willing to bet that when the Hound returns to King's Landing, Cersei isn't going to be too pleased. Last time he was there, he pretty much peaced out when her family was under attack by Stannis the Manus and left the Lannister with these parting words.
The king.
Now, the king in mention there was Cersei's beloved royal brat Joffrey, and even though he's been dead for a few seasons, Cersei isn't going to forget that slight against him. She's going to make the Hound pay for his insolence, and what better way to do it than a long overdue brother-on-brother brawl between him and his mountainous sibling. The only question now is who will take it all and who's going home in a body bag. If you can actually put the Mountain in a body bag, not really sure if you can actually kill the guy the second time around. Although it's science and not magic, so once the, clockwork stops working, you should just be dead, right? That's what I think. I'm going with that one. But what do you folks think? Is the Clegane Bowl finally going to happen, and who do you think will win? Let's discuss. Have you seen our live weekly show Mothership? We team up with Geek and Sundry to bring you epic challenges, dig up the most WTF moments on the internet, give away prizes, and a whole lot more. If you missed out, you can always catch up on demand over at projectalpha.com, and be sure to use the promo code SHIPMATES to get 60 free days.